Let's cross live now to our senior politics reporter, Samkele Maseko, who's been tracking this story for us. Samkele, good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for your time. Of course, today we know that it's actually the birthday of the ANC, but we'll get to that and that address by the president in just a moment. I want to talk about something that is developing that you spoke to him about this afternoon, and that is the letter that they've received from the lawyers representing former President Zuma. How did he respond?
Well, Bongi, I thought that would have been one of your leading headlines, particularly noting the response from the ANC president on this particular issue of former President Zuma, saying that he has heard of the letter. They will read it because they have to read that particular letter of demand of reinstatement of his membership of the African National Congress. But Cyril Ramaphosa went on to say he has been thoroughly impressed with the work of the Secretary General Fikile Mbalula in the implementation and application of the ANC constitution in the expulsion of its former President Zuma, who has sent this letter of demand of the reinstatement of his ANC membership, going further saying that they are impressed with the work that has been done by the National Disciplinary Committee of the African National Congress and ultimately the National Disciplinary Committee of Appeals, the NCDA of the ANC, which ultimately upheld the expulsion of its former President Zuma. We do know that Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, speaking earlier on this morning as well, saying that this is just a sideshow by its former president who wants to take attention away from the ANC's birthday and have that attention to himself.
And Samkele, when you then go back to his address a little earlier on before that cake cutting ceremony, he talks about an ANC that he admits that has taken quite the beating at the polls. You think about the fact that last year their statement, around January 8th was a decisive win, but that was not to be during the elections. But he says that the ANC is not dying and it's regrouping.
Indeed, he says that the ANC is at this point in time at its weakest. It has electorally declined after the 29th of May elections, forcing the ANC to enter into a government of national unity, but says that the ANC is not down and out. The pulse and the body of the party is still there. It just needs some work to be resuscitated, going as far as to saying that the real ANC has started to show its growth once again in the recent by-elections that are being held, where the ANC is winning in the provinces of KwaZulu-Natal, across the country as well. You go to Limpopo in Tabazimbi, where they won those particular wards and just lost one ward within that particular municipality, which has 12 wards. You go to various other municipalities where they've held by-elections in Mpumalanga, in the Eastern Cape. The ANC is showing some resurgence and some growth within those specific areas, saying that the true growth of the African National Congress will be seen in the 2026 local government elections. But the ANC needs to go back to its roots. It needs to go back to its non-racial character of encompassing all races that are there within the country in order for the ANC to be truly representative of South Africa once again.
And Samkele, how does it begin to change the dynamic, particularly when you think about the priorities it will now set itself on Saturday, and how these priorities will also, in the past would have mapped out the way that the party was to, take for that cause of the year. How does the fact that now there's a government of national unity add a spanner in the works?
It adds a spanner in the works. Particularly, we asked him what will be entailed in the January 8 statement. He says that the January 8 statement would look extensively at the priority areas of the African National Congress, saying that when the January 8 statement was inceptualized by former president of the ANC, the longest-serving president of the party, Oliver Reginald Tambo, during its most difficult phases, it looked at the current moment the ANC was at the time. President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, saying that the statement of the January 8 statement of the NEC will look extensively at the current contemporary political moment that the country is in. It will look at the government of national unity. It will look at the aftermath of the 29th of May general elections, and it will look as to the ANC going forth into the future. As he detailed in the address here at this particular civic center at Athlone, that they are already started planning the ANC's elections machinery for the 2026 local government elections, meaning that the ANC realizes that it's on the back foot. It will use the January 8 statement to reflect on where the party is electorally, structurally, organizationally, and looking forward into the 2026 local government elections, which will reprioritize the ANC's program of 2025 of giving people the basic services that they need, where in such municipalities, such in Johannesburg, they are failing to provide the basic necessity of life, which is water, electricity provision within the country that has largely improved since the appointment of Dr. Ramaphosa as the Minister of Electricity within the country, and Dan Morekani as the Chief Executive Officer at the Power Utility Eskom. It would look at the roads infrastructure within the country. It will look at the robots that are non-functioning properly within the country in municipalities such as Joburg. You look at the resuscitation of the eThekwini municipality by Mayor Cyril Ramaphosa. Those are some of the issues that the ANC will look at implementing thoroughly and improving service delivery where it governs at a local level in order to persuade voters to once again vote for the party in 2026.
All right, Samkele, certainly, as you say, a lot of focus, as has been in the past, on local government, but also now with some tensions in the alliance. Thank you so much for that update, Samkele. Appreciate it.